When we speak of ISB and its impact on students, the one word that stands out is transformation. We welcome bright young minds to the school, see them graduate with flying colors and go on to accomplish some incredible things.
Long time.
I know. How was your flight? All good?
Excellent.
Thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to have alums like you come back to campus.
Thanks so much. Yeah, okay.
An accomplished hockey player who went on to captain India, Viren Rasquinha has been part of several medal-winning efforts and the team that represented India in hockey at the Athens Olympics of 2004. At the peak of his hockey career, he decided to swap the stick and the turf for time in the classroom to pursue the postgraduate program in management at ISB. Today, he is the CEO of Olympic Gold Quest, a non-profit that identifies and trains talented young athletes to be medal prospects for India at the Olympics. He brings the same tenacity and drive that he had shown in marshalling the Indian team's midfield to leading marketing, fundraising, and athlete management efforts for his organization. Viren has been a member of the Prime Minister's task force to chart plans for India's Olympic strategy. Viren was honored with the prestigious Arjuna Award by the Government of India in 2005 in recognition of excellence in the sport. He's also been bestowed the Shiv Chhatrapati Award in 2004 by the Government of Maharashtra and was named top 40 under 40 leaders in India by the Economic Times.
Because there was nothing.
Right.
But yeah, in some sense, there are similarities to both campuses.
Correct.
And
I think everyone has to go through that evolution.
Absolutely. So good to have you here. It's an honor to speak with you, a legend in every sense of the word and someone who we at ISB claim as our own. I want to sort of just get straight off the bat, or in your case, straight off the stick. You retired from hockey in 2007 and then entered a B school. What made you, sort of think of a management education, and also how did you end up choosing ISB?
Yeah, first of all, thanks, Guru, for inviting me over here. It's great to be back at Mohali. I've been to ISB Hyderabad many times. Yeah, but going back to your question, I think the greatest joy for me in life was getting the opportunity and honor to represent the country in hockey, a sport I loved so much. I was very lucky that I could play for India, captain the country, play at the Olympics. My one dream of winning an Olympic medal myself as a player, I think that dream remained unfulfilled. I played at Athens 2004 and we just missed out on an Olympic medal. And during that entire journey as a player, I always knew that as a professional athlete, there is a shelf life. And there will always come a time where you have to move on to the next phase of your life. And for me, studies have always been important. And I always wanted to think about the next steps.
Yeah.
And the funny part was that in the year 2003, the Indian hockey team played the Afro-Asian Games, which was at Hyderabad at Gachibowli.
Correct.
And I was part of that squad. And the hockey stadium was at Gachibowli, just behind ISB. And the Indian team stayed on the ISB campus.
At the executive housing?
Yes. And that was my first exposure to ISB. And I thought to myself, wow, this is a fantastic place. I never knew at that point of time in 2003, ISB had just started, that this sort of facility existed in the country. And from that point of time, in my mind, I was researching, I read up on ISB, I was following the stuff that was happening as the years went by. And then finally in 2007, when I took a sort of an abrupt call to retire. I would say abrupt for many, but not in my mind. And I was studying for my GMAT simultaneously in my final year of playing out there. And it just felt that the time was right. In terms of why ISB, like I said, I already had exposure to the campus. But just in terms of, obviously, at ISB, the infrastructure is excellent. The curriculum is extremely, I would say, modern and updated. The faculty is brilliant. But for me, I think what really sets ISB out is two things. One is the quality of the peer group.
Yeah.
And secondly, just the overall environment. I think it's something like a feeling you get when you walk into a new place and you feel at home. That's the feeling I got that first time in 2003. Until today, it's 2024, and that feeling has never gone away.
Wow.
Whether I walk in at Hyderabad or here today at Mohali, you cannot define certain things, but it's just someone. And I've always been someone who's gone with my gut feel a lot about a place. And I have to say, I think that 1 year for me at ISB post my playing career, where, Guru, I have to say that for 15 years of my life before that, all I did was play, train, travel. I was traveling all over the world, playing hockey 11 and a half months out of 12 for 15 years. And I was very in my mind, would I be able to manage the rigor of studies? After my graduation, quite honestly, I had not touched a book for 7-8 years after my graduation because I simply didn't have the time. But when you actually get to ISB, you realize that everyone is in the same boat. But it was probably for me the best transition year that I could have asked for. The kind of learning, the kind of experiences, the kind of lifelong friends I eventually made from that 1 year at ISB, I think just the greatest memories for me.
That's fantastic to hear. And post ISB, this was a very interesting OGQ that you became the founding CEO, and you've stayed on and built another institution of real repute, and something that we all as Indians really take pride in, because thanks to your efforts, there's an assurance of a steady supply of high quality sports persons that this country truly deserves. Tell us how the OGQ sort of idea came about, and how did you get involved?
Right. Again, after ISB, I happened to meet Geet Sethi and Prakash Padukone, two of our sports legends. They need no introduction. And Geet and Prakash had started a not-for-profit foundation called OGQ, Olympic Gold Quest.
Yeah.
And they had a very sharp mission to help Indian athletes win Olympic gold medals. And they were looking for a CEO, and they approached me. That time, OGQ was just an idea on paper. There was literally no funding, no athletes. It was a clean slate. And now, number one, for me in the sporting world, Geet Sethi and Prakash Padukone were gods.
Yeah.
I couldn't say no to them. But I think also, secondly, what really struck me was the mission. That really resonated with me. Because I know when I played at the Athens 2004 Olympics, India just missed out. We lost a very crucial match to Australia. Australia won that match 4-3. They went into the Olympic semi-final. India was out. I remember crying on the sidelines. That match finished around 10 p.m. Athens time. I remember crying on the sidelines till around 12 midnight. I remember being angry and frustrated, not because India lost, not because one of us made a mistake. I was just angry and frustrated at the system, which I felt did not gear us well enough to handle the pressure against the best teams in the world when it really mattered.
At the apex level of
Yes,
playing.
at the highest level of sport, it will boil down to tiny margins. It boils down to the 1%ers. And that's why players train 10,000 hours to finally execute in that match. Split second when it really matters under pressure. And I felt we were not trained in the right process to do that. And I think out of that sadness that had enveloped me post-Athens, when Geet and Prakash approached me to be a part of OGQ, and I just took it as an opportunity and a challenge to try and change, to make positive changes in Indian sport. And since that time, I just completed 15 years at OGQ. After the training of more than 500 of India's best young Olympic and Paralympic athletes, I'm very proud to say that in the last 3 Olympics, London 2012, Rio 2016, and Tokyo 20, India won 15 Olympic medals. The training of 9 of those 15 medal winners was looked after by OGQ.
Wow.
We started supporting para athletes as well. So the Tokyo cycle was the first para cycle. India won 19 medals. The training of 10 of those 19 were supported by OGQ. So it's been an incredible journey. I'm just very grateful in life that I'm getting the opportunity to do something that I really love. And it's something like you, Guru. I look at you and you love being here. And I love being at OGQ. There's not been a single Monday morning in these 15 years where I felt like I'm at work. And I'm just simply doing what I love in life. And I've just followed that, my own personal policy in life.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is fantastic. That brings me to this point about mindset. You played at the very apex level, captaining Indian team and carrying the expectations of 1 billion people. And then you came to ISB, you aced ISB, you went on to sort of build OGQ as a very, very fine institution. What's the winning mindset that sort of describes Viren? What is it that gets you going, apart from the fact that it's your passion?
I've never really thought about a particular formal mindset at all. But I just think that number one is that it takes a lot of courage to succeed. And in sport especially, everyone tends to see the finish line.
Yeah.
But I actually see the effort that goes behind the scenes, the blood, sweat, and tears that happens every single day in the early morning. Because they say that the Olympic medal is not won on that day when 1 billion people are watching. It's won every single day at 5:30 in the morning when no one is watching. And that process has to be right. We tell a lot of kids today, have self-belief. But that doesn't come from Geet Sethi or Prakash Padukone or Vishwanathan Anand or Viren Rasquinha telling a young kid to believe in yourself. It comes from solid world-class training every single day. And that's where an organization like OGQ has to make a difference. That's where ISB makes a difference, right? It's the training that we're imparting for life, for kids. These are life skills that we're all learning. And that is very important.
So from sports to business of sports, in some sense, you made this transition almost like a very smooth one and something where you've excelled. And I know you said there is no one specific formulaic mindset, but if someone were to say, what's your leadership style like? What do you think will be the response?
I think very informal. And a style where I encourage people to take responsibility and ownership and initiative. You will never see me micromanaging people. I think a good coach or a good teacher is one that teaches you to finally take decisions on your own. Because on the hockey pitch, when you're out there in the heat of the battle, everything happens in split seconds. And hockey is all about making the right decisions at the right time under pressure. And that's what a good coach should be teaching you, not to handhold you and spoon feed you all the time. It's about giving you the responsibility to learn and make decisions for yourself. And that's what I've always tried to do, even on the young athletes. So OGQ looks after the training of today about 150 junior athletes in the age group of 11 to 19 years. These are the best of the best young talent in badminton, boxing, shooting, archery, wrestling, etc. And we want to ensure that, number one, they are in that environment that is conducive to excellence.
Yeah.
And secondly, we also want to encourage them to be responsible and take their own decisions. And that's something that the environment has a big role to play. And that's why I feel institutions like ISB are so important, to be in the right environment, in the right peer group, where you learn of each other. There's so much to learn from each other. I remember my time at ISB. The best time I had was with my quaddies.
Yeah.
One was a hardcore techie, one was a sales guy, one was an entrepreneur, and the fourth was me, a sports person. So I think the best times we had was at dinner every day, when we sat that half an hour and talked about everything in life and our experiences in life.
Yeah.
And the great thing about ISB is you don't just learn from in the classroom and from your professors, but I think there's so much to learn from your peers.
Yeah. It's one of those things where we talk about, peer-led learning as an important ingredient to your overall learning at ISB as well. You spoke about coaching. So in some sense, you're also putting all of this, the way you explained, the signs of winning in your programs at OGQ?
Yeah, we also have something known as our coaches program. So when we started OGQ, we first thought that, let's look at the most talented young kids and groom them to be future Olympic champions for the country. But somewhere down the line, we introspected a lot and we thought, what needs to be done better? And one of the things that came to us was, we not only need to groom the most talented young kids, we need to groom the most talented young coaches. And so OGQ launched our coaches program, which is now divided into 3 tiers, with the eventual goal in badminton, shooting, and now para-athletics to create coaches who can actually train young 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds. There are 100 ingredients that go into the mix of building Olympic champions.
Yeah.
But the most important ingredient is the coach. If the coach is not world-class, you're not going to produce world-class players.
So that brings me to this question about the culture of sports in India. It has changed a lot in our own lifetimes in terms of the sort of massive proliferation of so many well-organized sort of, games and events. Where do you see this whole sporting culture going as a directional in India?
I think the sport is a great, what do you say? It's a great resource to produce positive role models for a country.
Yeah.
In 2009, right after I finished ISB, we started OGQ. Sindhu and Saina were 2 of the first in the first 10 list of athletes that we supported. From that time, in 2009, anecdotally, there were about 30 badminton courts in Hyderabad, similar number in Bangalore. Today, anecdotal evidence says that there are over 7,000 badminton courts in Bangalore.
Wow.
Close to similar numbers in Hyderabad. See the result of positive role models like Sindhu and Saina. How many people are playing badminton?
Yeah.
How much employment is created? How many coaches have to be there to be a part of all these academies?
And everything
how
else.
The whole sport has elevated. We started supporting Mirabai Chanu in 2016, the weightlifter.
Yes.
She had failed at the Rio 2016 Olympics, not made a single successful lift. In 2021 at Tokyo, Mirabai Chanu won the Olympic silver medal. 3 months after that, they had the weightlifting national championship. The number of girls that participated almost quadrupled. So again, what sport does, it not just elevates the nation, makes all of us feel proud.
Yeah.
I think it gives hope and belief to 1 million young kids out there in some small town, village, that you can do whatever you want in life. And for me, that's the power of sport, to give that hope and belief. That's sort of intangible, but I think just so important in life.
It's very important. I couldn't disagree at all. I want to bring back to the ISB journey, and how did you cope with the academics? It's generally difficult for anyone who's coming back to school after a certain number of years, which is what we typically see at ISB. But you were, in competitive sport at the highest level, sort of playing in 24/7, back on campus. How did you manage? And tell us a little bit about that year.
Yeah, I think the academics were undoubtedly tough and hard on me because there were several, I would say the most technical subjects, so say statistics, DMOP, etc., that were really tough on me. The part that helped me the most was really the helpful nature of the peer group. And like I said, the people in my study group, the people in my quad. At ISB, you can ask anyone for help. Someone or the other will help you, no matter what. And the diversity is so much. People coming from all backgrounds, there will always be an expert on some subject. And all you got to have to do is have the courage to go and ask for help. And I did that a lot. I was not ashamed to say that there were many things I had absolutely no clue what was happening. but you take help, you learn. So I'm used to being out of that comfort zone, and that's where the maximum progress in life happens. That's where the maximum learning in life happens. So it was a fabulous year. It was hard, yet fabulous.
I want to also ask, Viren, in terms of this 15 years of journey of OGQ, I'm sure you've sort of dipped into the ISB Alumni Network, for help or for general growing the institution. How has the Alumni Network played any role in this journey?
It's been amazing. Neeraj Arora is on the board of OGQ. We have a US entity. Neeraj Arora is on a board. He's been a massive help and support to OGQ in the US, in the Bay Area. Mayank Kumar, my classmate, is one of our big supporters as well at OGQ. As OGQ is a not-for-profit foundation, and we get donations from HNIs, from family foundations, from CSR, from corporate. So Adi Godrej, who used to chair the board, is also been one of our biggest supporters right from the start. So many people, stakeholders of OGQ. Neeraj Bharadwaj was on our board, and he was one of the first person who, besides Geet and Prakash, who also encouraged me to join OGQ. Neeraj is today MD of Carlyle India,
yes,
and
of course.
he is on the board of ISB. So Neeraj played a big role. So many people across the board, across all stakeholders, have played a big part. And OGQ does not belong to Geet or Prakash or me. It's something that we always wanted to do for the nation, and everyone is involved. When PV Sindhu or Mirabai Chanu wins an Olympic medal, it's not just us feeling proud. It's every single
1.4 billion people.
It's 1.4 billion people feeling proud, and that's what we want to ensure, that we keep going in that way. And there are so many people along this journey who have helped so much, many of them from ISB.
So good to hear this. Since you're an alum, what is your sense of how the school has progressed, and what, if any, words of advice do you have for the school for the next few years?
I think just a huge sense of pride, because on my job, I'm lucky I get to travel a lot. So I go to US, to Singapore, to Dubai, etc. And I meet ISB alums everywhere. And today, with school being 20 years plus of journey, many ISB alums are in very senior leadership positions across companies, not just in India, but across the world. So it's amazing to see that growth in ISB. And I think now is really the time has come for all of us to give back to the institution, to give back to what life has given all of us, because that will eventually make a huge difference. If all of us have a role to play in life, and we just got to ensure that we do it to the best of our ability.
I mean, for us, I can say this, and I've said this on many platforms, we take immense pride in the success of our alumni, and also in some sense take credit for your success as well. So I think it's in some sort of, a very mutually rewarding kind of a relationship. To the current class and sort of future applicants at ISB, do you have a message, Viren, in terms of what they should be looking at or looking forward to?
For the current class, I think we are in term 2, 3, and I know these are some of the hardest terms that you face, but I would still say that it would be criminal to only be in the classroom and in your own room. I think go out there and make friends. Making lifelong friends, building your network is a critical part of life at ISB. Make sure you do not miss out of that. And for people out there who are looking to join ISB, all I can say, it was the best learning year in my life. I had no clue about how to build an organization, how to build structure. And that 1 year just taught me so much in a zone that was totally new to me. And I'm just very grateful for all that I learned at ISB.
Beyond sports and helping nurture sports person, what keeps you engaged? What else do you do over the, let's say, weekends? The weekend is a bit tougher for me because a lot of competitive sport happens over the weekend. So that's actually a fairly busy period for us. But now for me, something in life that I really love doing is
being with my daughter. My daughter is now 10 years old. She's obviously going to school and busy with studies as you get a little older. But she also plays tennis and now fairly competitively. We just wanted to expose her to various sports. So she played football, hockey, badminton, and coincidentally, tennis was the fourth sport we introduced her to. And she really took up to it. I've never held a tennis racket in my life. And as long as kids enjoy it,
Whatever they're doing.
so I, as much as possible, when I'm in Mumbai, I try and go for her training sessions and whenever she has her matches and just want her to enjoy. So it's a great part of, as a parent, to see the evolution of a kid's life and what she's doing now. So that takes a big part of my time away from work.
What you do. Yeah. So I have this rapid fire. You spoke a lot about the campus, your time on campus, but what's your most favorite memory, if there's one that stands out for you?
I think the time in term 8 when everyone comes out to play and everyone hits the gym and you look in the mirror and you realize, oh shit, what happened during that year? And I got to get a little bit fitter. So
Yeah.
I think that was a great memory because I struggled a lot with the academics. And then finally I got some breathing room in term 8. So yeah.
A lesser known fact about Viren Rasquinha?
I played football for Mumbai before I played hockey.
Oh, wow.
For Mumbai, yeah.
The last thing you did for the first time?
A bungee jump in Germany, yeah.
How many goals for India in Paris?
How many goals? If we get 2, I would be super happy.
And if I were to ask you to describe ISB in one sentence for you, what does it stand for?
Best 1 year in my life.
Thank you, Viren. It was a real pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Guru. Thanks for inviting me. I just feel so grateful for the role ISB played. So happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks.